Doctor Who Story by Story. The Christmas Invasion. Just the facts. The Christmas Invasion was the special hour-long edition of Doctor Who broadcast on Christmas Day 2005. It was the very first story to star David Tennant as the 10th Doctor, together with Billie Piper as Rose and recurring guest stars Camille Coduri as Jackie Tyler, Noel Clarke as Mickey Smith and Penelope Wilton as now Prime Minister Harriet Jones. The story was written by showrunner Russell T. Davies. Plot. The story sees the TARDIS return Rose and the newly regenerated 10th Doctor to Earth, where Rose attempts to care for him with the help of her mother and Mickey. Unfortunately, an attack by murderous Santas and a killer Christmas tree precipitates the arrival of the Sycorax, an alien race who use apparent magic to get a third of the world's population poised to kill themselves unless Earth surrenders itself to its new rulers, a situation that the government and Rose seem unable to cope with. Doctor incapacitated. Guest cast. The guest cast for this story, in addition to the recurring characters, includes Adam Garcia, perhaps best known for his role in Coyote Ugly, as Alex. Trivia. For the first time in the new series, the end credits refer to the lead character as the Doctor. Christopher Eccleston's Doctor was credited as Doctor Who. The original series credited the first 4 Doctors as Doctor Who, before changing to the Doctor from the 5th Doctor, despite Doctor Who having long been acknowledged to be the name of the series rather than the character. What the fans said. Although Doctor Who Christmas specials have long been acknowledged as being generally poor by hardcore Doctor Who fans, the Christmas Invasion is the exception to this rule. The Christmas Invasion is actually extremely well thought of by Doctor Who fans, as the first story of a much-loved Doctor and a strong story in its own right. What I think. The Christmas Invasion is an okayish and entertaining enough story, if far from being the greatest story or greatest post-regeneration new Doctor story in the series canon. Tennant makes a solid enough debut and dominates the screen in the last 10 minutes or so when the new Doctor finally wakes up from his extended nap in order to wrap up the plot and defeat the baddies. However, the story is not without its issues. The robot Santas, which reappear in the following year's Christmas special, The Runaway Bride, are essentially irrelevant to the main plot and linked only extremely tenuously to the story's real villains, the Sycorax, clearly included only because the episode was a Christmas special. Likewise, the worldwide threat nature of the story seems like a rerun of that shown in Aliens of London, the 2-part story shown earlier that same year, but without that story's parodic and spoofy elements. The style of the story feels decidedly unlike most Doctor Who to this point, and is more similar to the kind of plot and delivery of said plot found in modern Hollywood effects-driven blockbuster movies rather than the often more intimate tales found in the original series. And while budget is clearly the reason for this, and this new style is undoubtedly popular with casual modern viewers, it does feel somewhat like the series is beginning to abandon one of its core strengths in order to play to the gallery. Rose, a character who was a strong asset to the series in its first new season, is also characterized poorly, the beginning of a downward trend that would continue and worsen in the following season and see her popularity with all but the most hardcore Ski 10 Rose shipper brigade plummet rapidly. Her whining about the Doctor abandoning her, "He hasn't abandoned you. He's at death's door because of what he did to save your life, you ungrateful little fucking slapper. And you really love him, don't you?" Scene of unbelievable wetness between her and the by now thoroughly cuckolded Mickey are truly, truly hideous. All in all, I enjoyed the Christmas Invasion, certainly more than the great majority of New Who Christmas specials, and despite the warning signs of things to come, think it still just about justifies a B+.